Good morning, everybody. It's May 11th. Just checking in on that date for everybody because
Monday.
to remember what day and where we're at. It's been a bit of a struggle lately. So we're checking in on our usual Monday morning and wanting to say hi. We've put a little list on Facebook, comments about kind of looking to the future about what might be happening or how the state will open or what you will do in your own houses. So you can check out all of that on Facebook. But we're going to go over it now and talk about some of the points. And Jim's going to read this whole thing out loud to you.
Yeah. So it says each must walk their own path. If we open up, you do you, I'll do me. That's what America's about. None of us have the same circumstances, medically high-risk child, family member, or a business about to go under. Let's all stay in our own lanes and keep the judgment down as we begin to reopen. No one should feel pressured either way. Just a thought, as governors are trying to figure out how to ease back into a new normal, please remember, some people don't agree with the state opening. That's okay, be kind. Some people are still planning to stay home. That's okay, be kind. Some are still scared of getting the virus and a second wave happening. That's okay, be kind. Some are sighing with relief to go back to work, knowing they may not lose their business or their homes. That's okay, be kind. Some are thankful they can finally have a surgery they have put off. That's okay, be kind. Some will be able to attend interviews after weeks without a job. That's okay, be kind. Some will wear whip masks for weeks. That's okay, be kind. Some people will rush out to get the hair or nails done. That's okay, be kind.
Why are you looking at us?
The point is, everyone has different viewpoints and feelings, and that's okay, be kind. We each have a different story. If you need to stay home, but be kind. If you need to go out, just respect others when in public and be kind. Don't judge fellow humans because you're not in their story. We are all in different mental states than we were months ago, so remember, be kind. I personally thought this was really important because I know we struggle having kids, I'm sure Laura can attest too, that don't fully understand why they can't play with their friends or go to the park or, you know, they see the neighbors playing. We have a cul-de-sac of all kids going in one another's houses or sharing food or doing all these other things, and to try and justify or explain to your kids why they aren't allowed to do that or why those kids are, or even having your own mindset change is really tough to navigate. I brought up the analogy this morning. I feel like it's when you're on the highway and people are driving way faster than you, they're maniacs, and if they're driving way slower than you, they're idiots. And I feel like the same applies with this, that if people are doing the same thing as you, it's sound logic. It's like, yeah, that seems reasonable. But if someone is way more cautious than you, or wearing the mask at all times, or they haven't left their home at all, that might seem like overkill to you. Or if it's the opposite, where they're having birthday parties, they're hugging and, you know, going to family members' houses or sharing meals or whatever the case might be. That might seem extreme, but no one really knows what is appropriate or what we should be doing. So, yeah, for me especially, it's been rough.
I think for all of us, and especially with yesterday being Mother's Day, happy belated Mother's Day to any of us.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy
Happy Mother's Day.
I think so many people were torn, and you know, how do you not go see your mom on Mother's Day, or how do you have a socially distant visit?
Right.
And
Especially because it was cold out too. There's
Yeah.
that. It wasn't like, hey, let's sit on the patio.
Right.
It was snowing.
And even in families, you might have, you know, a mom might have some kids that'll come see or go to their house, and some that are like, no, we can't do that. And so the struggle is not just your neighbor or people you know, it's within your own houses, and it's so hard to maintain that sanity or just lack of judgment. So I know for me, like I have said just since Friday when I read this post, that I thought was just so poignant, that I am striving to just not judge people by doing what they're doing. So I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and that's what I feel that I should be doing and my family should be doing. If others aren't, that's, you know, like that is their that's their choice, that's their decision. However, like I've seen these news reports of, some guy coming up and wiping his nose on some woman's arm in the grocery store because she was wearing a mask. I'm gonna tell you right now, that won't fly with me. Yeah.
Punch
Thank
him in
you.
the throat.
See? No, Lisa's on that. But like seriously, don't invade my space. Let
Right.
for those of you that are not going to wear masks or what have you, that's your decision. But then don't take other people's decisions to take those precautions away from them.
Yeah,
Right.
you do you. But I think it's funny, I'm just laughing because you're like, this is what I'm gonna do and this is what my family's gonna do, which is like, okay, these are our beliefs. It's not always your own family's beliefs. Like Jim's kids are little and it's a struggle, and Laura's kids are little and it's a struggle, but they're still kind of rule the roost where our kids are older. So
Right.
even though we believe that,
Hard to believe, isn't it?
it, much older, started very young. Started very young. No, and then we're like, okay, so this is what we believe, and so do all you, 20-year-olds, and so that's been hard too, because then they go social distance at their friend's house, but their friend's parents don't believe that, and it's almost, not that they're bullying them, but they're almost like,
Peer
that's
pressure.
ridiculous, come in our house, why are you
Give
standing
me
outside?
that hug. Come
Yeah,
on.
and it's like, it's just it is a slippery slope of like, you're giving your kids this freedom, like, okay, you can go to so-and-so's house, and then all of a sudden, they're in their house, and you're like, but we're not going in
We're not
houses,
doing
and
that.
people aren't coming in our houses. Now it's like, oh, I don't know. There's so much gray areas
Yeah.
right here. Some of them. But
They're
it's
adding
just a
up.
lot of gray. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
hard.
but
It's
I'm sorry,
hard.
but you're not allowed back in my house
I know.
because you chose to go there and
I know.
mingle and hug, and now you're gonna bring that back into our house that we've tried to maintain. It's so hard. It's
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe their household is the same in that they haven't been anywhere and they haven't been anywhere for months and they don't let.
Right.
That's what we, of
Right.
course, notice with little kids.
Yeah.
I have all the family and friends that have little ones that are like, no, they haven't been in stores for 2 months. They haven't been anywhere for
Right.
2 months.
yeah.
So when you stop by those places, they're like, feel less strict, they're more lax because, well, we haven't been anywhere. We couldn't have had it or get it because we haven't been anywhere. So you can stand closer, you can come in and, we haven't, but that's the feeling I've seen
Right.
from people because we haven't been anywhere. That's the standard that people are kind of saying.
I just think it's gonna get more and more murky as time goes on, because if we get into phase 3, or when we will get to phase 3. When we get to phase 3, there are gonna be a lot of just
Hard
questions
lines.
unanswered.
Yeah. Like when you're 10 people in your house, so can 10 people come in? Because, I'm hoping, but like, what does that mean? And so like my mom will say, well, if that's gonna happen June 1st, on Mother's Day, she's like, why can't you come in today? We're 2 weeks away. And this is somebody who grounded me for many things. And I'm like, Mom, that's the rule. And she's like, it's funny how roles have
It's
reversed.
funny that you would go directly to
Yeah.
that's her, the woman that grounded me.
I know. I was like, yeah, seriously, these are governor's rules. I mean, those
So
are
wouldn't
just.
the flip of that be okay too? You had no problem breaking the rules when you were younger,
Right.
obviously.
Right.
So why do you have such a problem with breaking rules now?
I know. I don't want her to get sick. I think the rules that I was breaking
Yeah.
really didn't have that kind of,
Weight on other people.
it didn't. And it was like, okay, this is only gonna hurt me.
Right.
I don't know.
I do see too,
do
like,
get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
I think so many people are trying to justify why they're doing what they're doing, no matter what it is.
Right.
And that to me just means that no one knows.
It's exhausting.
Because if
It
you
is.
are,
It's
if you're like,
exhausting.
okay, so this is why, so like, we did this because of blah, or because this, or you're quoting numbers or whatever, like everyone is in the same boat and that they don't really know what they're doing, but
Right.
they don't want anyone to judge them for being too cautious or too reckless, and so it's hard. I mean, if everyone was comfortable and knew exactly what was going on, we wouldn't have that. It would just be like, yeah, this is the situation. But if you don't know anyone personally that has it, or you haven't been personally affected yet, it's a lot harder to draw a line in the sand where
Right.
we've had presenters reach out to us that have had it, and friends of friends, and so they are taking it very seriously because they have experienced it firsthand.
Right.
And so, yeah, you're in a much different boat, and I'm sure behaving differently too.
And I have friends of friends that have had it and have had very little symptoms also.
Yeah,
You know,
Right,
so
or
there's-
none at all.
Right,
right,
right. They had a fever that would go up and down and that was it. Or they felt a little lethargic and it wasn't a breathing issue. So then it's like, well, how would my body respond to
Right.
it if I do get it? I'm a healthy person. That's the
Right.
rational
Right.
thought
Right.
that comes to my mind. And everybody that I know must be healthy too, you know, but you
And then
can't
it
play
goes,
that.
it goes back to then, so what if I am so healthy, I'm carrying it and I don't even know it,
Right.
and I go give
yes.
my mom that hug, and now I'm
Right.
giving my mom that.
Right.
Sorry, but that's way beyond any Catholic guilt I'd ever been given.
Yeah.
So,
And on the flip side, what if all this goes by and no one in your family gets it, and then at the end they go, see, told you so, we should have hung out on Easter, or we should have hung out
Yeah.
on Mother's
all those
Day,
things
or,
we missed out on because you wouldn't let us
Right.
do it.
right.
Well,
There's
Right.
no win.
There is no win in this.
no.
Even our boys, a couple of our boys were talking about, my dad lives up in Wisconsin and he's totally isolated. And, you know, he's on like, what, 10 acres? And two of my boys are thinking of going up there and camping outside. They're like, well, but you know, Grandpa want us to come in to eat, probably doesn't want us peeing in the yard.
Shower.
All of those things. And so, yeah, now they're rethinking it. Also, it was a high of 27, a low of 15 there for the next couple of days. That also helped with that.
Right.
If you lived in Florida,
Right,
it would
you
be
know,
different.
like, we're just in your yard, we're distant.
Yeah.
You know, it's just. And, okay, and then that goes to, some things are opening quicker in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So, oh, we're crossing the border and it's open there, so we're
Right.
good, right?
Yeah.
We're fine. Oh,
Well, and my girlfriend, she, probably shouldn't call her out like this, but it's just a good example, and they have a cabin in Tomahawk, which she's like, there's no cases up there. And, you know, they had gone, and I said, have you been in the grocery store? And she's like, no, only in Tomahawk, because there's no cases. Well, then I talked to her last week, and they now have their first case. And I'm like, this may be because people from Illinois are going to Wisconsin, and they're going in their grocery stores. And, you know, not to say that she had anything to do with it, but like, she doesn't. But I mean, it's just
She brought
interesting.
it there.
I don't think, you know, people want you to be going to those areas that have kept themselves like that
They
either. So they see your
don't.
Illinois
No.
plates and they're like, why are you here?
and they don't, because if you're going into a remote area,
Right.
also you have to realize the health facilities they have. They are not equipped
Right,
to
No.
take
hospitals
on
are,
those cases.
right.
You know, they may have 2 respirators for
Right.
how many counties, so
Yeah,
you can't do that to them.
they had a bonfire and actually, they came out and said, you know, you guys can't do this, you have to keep, because they're volunteer firemen, they're literally volunteers, so they said, you know, we gotta keep that for if there was an emergency health-wise, and not just putting out like, you know, brush fires or something were to happen, and, yeah, so I know.
I think what I have been most surprised about is it doesn't seem to be, I can't find a certain group that does things a certain way. And what I mean by that is like, it doesn't seem like all younger people are the most cautious or the most careless. And it doesn't seem like all elderly or sick are the most cautious or the most, it's like, I don't see any consistent
No.
behavior with any group, whether it's political, religious, age, you name it. Everyone just seems to be operating on a different set of standards. And even in families, you know, like you said, so you're telling your kids, like, this is what we think. And yeah, if I were in high school or college, I might be like, okay, great. I'm only affecting me. And you can have the argument of like, well, you're not. It's a really slippery slope, and
Right.
I will also say too, what you think that you are actually like adhering to within a household and what's actually happening.
right,
Because as we know, especially when it comes to kids, where there's a will, there's a way. Where I run, I will say, there are a group of kids that just come from, and they stay socially distant, but they all come with hammocks and they kind of tie up their hammocks in the pine
Those
forest.
hammocks 6 feet
And
apart
I'm sure
in the same
that their
hammock.
parents have no clue that they're meeting
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm going for a run.
Yeah,
right,
Yeah, but, you know, and then you think about like, okay, so they are staying their distance. Are they doing any harm?
Right.
Right, I don't know.
In the
I don't
big
know.
picture.
And in the big picture,
Right.
they, is there, wouldn't you rather they do something like that than, yeah, I don't know.
Right, it's important for their mental health,
Right,
Correct. Yeah.
and that is something that a lot of people are struggling with right now, and we have to respect and be kind to how they're gonna move through this, cause some need that to be physically distanced, but still need to
Yeah.
see people and have those face-to-face contacts, and others are, because of their, before all this, you know, their mental health issues, their anxieties and fears are just way beyond
Yeah.
control right now, and then we have to be kind and respect them, but they
For sure.
are really adhering to every little detail and won't
Yeah.
let you in or let you anywhere near them, and you see them backing up if you're getting, you know, within 7 feet of them, and,
Right.
you have to,
Yeah, we've talked to a lot of seniors and just, you know, doing wellness calls and things, and there's some that say, well, when you guys are ready to open, we'll probably, you know, I'm still gonna be nervous to come, and, you know, I can't wait till the day it happens, but what will that look like, and are still very cautious. And then we get other calls that, you know, I know you guys are closed, but Georgianne's there doing hair, right?
Right.
It's Wednesday.
that's a
And
lot
I'm
of
like,
calls.
Yeah.
no, that she's not here doing hair on Wednesday. Like, you know, so it's you get all different comfort zones with this.
We're seeing the true color of a lot of people's hairs these days.
Yeah,
and I don't want this to be like preachy either,
No.
you know, it,
you do
to
you.
me, yeah, to me it's more like,
No, it's
no one knows what they're doing. It's
No.
like the end of the day,
This is unprecedented.
we just,
right.
No one's
it's-
done this before.
it's crazy,
It is.
so,
And you might feel differently than you did in March, that you do now in
Right.
May.
right,
You know, that's understandable,
yep,
and yeah.
So,
so hang in there.
right,
Hang
I'm
in
like,
there.
so,
Be
I don't know,
kind.
If
be
you have any
huge
inside
right enough.
information, call us.
Right? Yeah, just do you.
And be kind. I think that's really the big lesson here,
Takeaway.
because we do all feel different, and I'm talking to myself, because I've had, you know, some moments too. So yeah, I think just being kind, really.
You know what, you can't go wrong, like, in life, just in
Right.
general, just be
Yeah.
kind.
Yes.
Even after this is all over.
Yeah,
Let's
just
still do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Yeah,
Alright,
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 miss you guys.
have a good week, call us if you need anything.
be kind.
See you Monday.
We'll see you.